To avoid a civil war, the country, I don't know how they can do it. I don't think it's going to happen. But they must accept that the federal government is not an overpowering entity over every goddamn state. The states were created as different cultures. That's how they evolved. That let's see what's wrong with the mouse. South Carolina, Georgia, those people down there with their Confederate statues. Mississippi, they are not Washington, D.C. So the elections are now based on the federal government, that anybody that gets elected then rules over all of these different cultures. So the states are not being respected as the United States. They're being viewed as this huge, let me draw out the borders here, this huge border that whoever wins, like California, they then dictate the next morning to Mississippi. It was never meant to be that way. So to avoid a civil war, states' rights must come, much more to the fore. Now, in the Civil War, okay, let's talk about states' rights. The old hillbillies way back then, and the videos are still there of people that were still alive. Well, it was all about states' rights. It had nothing to do with slavery. It was all about states' rights. Okay, that's different. Lincoln did good to stand up and say, we are not going to have this country divided against itself with slaves down there, being lynched and whatever, and the whole economy of the United States is based on this free work. Okay, he did good because he had to make a choice that as a country, we cannot have, I think he said it, we cannot have a nation divided. So that's correct, but not this bullshit that's going on now with these different presidents, federal government. These elections are the federal government, that whoever wins, they then dictate for the slightest goddamn thing, the slightest thing, not slavery, but the slightest thing over all of the states. So states' rights, as different cultures, should be, brought forward. That's why these states were made. It's the United States. It's not the federal government. You win a goddamn election and the tanks roll into Mississippi the next day. It was never meant to be that. It was never meant to be that. United States cannot change, such as in the Constitution, have a constitutional convention and have a meeting and go, okay, listen, this is 300 years later. We are not back in the Stone Age. This is a new era with computers and everything. No, can't do it. Never will happen. Because people go, well, Constitution, we must worship the Constitution of what Thomas Jefferson said hundreds of years ago. We cannot change, we cannot move with the times. Can't, will never happen.